watching Fox 51 Good Day.
All right, welcome back. Well, of course, those summer temperatures right now in East Texas are heating up, and so is the possibility of getting some bad sunburn. If you're not careful, you could be in some major pain. Joining us now is Cris Berlingeri, who is a U.S. Dermatology Partners physician here in East Texas, to give us some tips on preventing that really bad sunburn and protecting yourself from the sun over the summer. Cris, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So just talk about how easy it is to get sunburn, whether it's here in Texas, in the state of Florida, anywhere.
Yes, so it's very important to understand that we are exposed to the sun all the time, particularly in states like Texas and Florida, through the window in a car. When people think that getting sunburn is just going out to the beach or the pool, but if you compare your forearm to other parts of their body that are always covered, you're gonna see that constant sun exposure that we're having. So sunburn between the hours of 10 and 4 are the peak hours of the sun, and the lighter your skin is, the more risk you have of getting a sunburn.
And when it comes with really bad sunburn, I don't want to use the term sun poisoning, but how do you exactly know when you have that really bad sunburn where maybe you might have to go to the hospital or just to really have to monitor that?
So it ranges. There's a spectrum. So we can start with just redness, but when we're getting to have blisters, those fluid-filled spaces like bubbles in your skin, covering somewhere between 20% of more of your surface skin area, that's a sign that you are getting into trouble. Having genital malaise, like feeling you're sick, joint pain, feeling ill, that's a sign that you have a really severe sunburn. Also, sunburns in areas that are usually covered by clothing that are rarely exposed to the sun, those can get sunburn really easily and it can hurt much more. So it's really important to get medical attention because the skin is a barrier against dehydration and infection. So when we get the skin compromised in that way with blisters and peeling and burn in large surface areas, you're at risk for dehydration. So we need to drink more water and maybe in extreme cases get IV fluids. We need to take more cold baths frequently and then moisturize with something that has either aloe or soy, are really good moisturizers. You may need to take anti-inflammatory agents like ibuprofen, Advil, sometimes prednisone to help calm down the inflammation in your body.
Which areas in the body are the most vulnerable to getting those really bad sunburns? Does it matter? I mean, does it really depend, or it's anywhere?
You can get it anywhere, but like I said before, the areas that usually don't see the sun often, like our arms, let's say, those areas covered by your underwear, those areas are, if you expose them to the sun, they're gonna get burned quicker than others. So I always tell my patients and my friends, family members, when you apply that sunblock, make sure you put under the straps of your shirts, of your swimsuit, because those are the areas that are gonna get burned easier if you're not very adamant about covering everything.
And when you get those really bad sunburns, especially with the bubbles and stuff, I've had that, particularly on my shoulders and stuff like that. What do you need to watch out for over the months and years ahead with your skin particularly? Because you know, when we're talking about skin cancer, stuff like that, what do you, as a dermatologist, what should you look out for?
So having a blistering sunburn like the one you just described is a risk factor for skin cancer, particularly melanoma, which is the most concerning one. So we want to look for new moles, changing moles. You're probably going to get freckles after a blistering sunburn like that. So we want to make sure that you're taking a look and checking again any new moles or changing moles in those areas. That would be concerning and something to go and seek medical attention for.
Yeah, and then switching over to sunscreens, is there any sunscreens particularly you can recommend for kids and adults that might be the most effective? So
whenever you look at sunscreens, it's going to have that SPF number, sun protection factor. We want that number to be at least 30. Honestly, from 30 and above, the difference is how much you put. We want to make sure that we cover the area generously with that sun protection, with that sunscreen. We prefer the sunscreen that say mineral or physical blockers. Those are the ones that are not going to have the chemicals that can cause a reaction or burn your eyes. So look for that word, either physical blocker or mineral blocker. And the main ingredients is going to be titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. So those are the main ones. But as long as the number is 30 or above and you do the physical blockers or mineral blockers, use the one you like. Nowadays we have such a variety. We have sprays, we have lotions, we have gels, we have bars. So just make sure you apply it thoroughly over your body and reapply.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's my next question. Reapplying. When you know you're going out to the beach, say here in Texas and Florida, anywhere else, how many times should you reapply that, especially if you were going in and out of the water and it's rubbing off constantly? Yes,
particularly if you're going to be in the water or sweating, like if you're outside running or playing sports, reapply every 60 to 90 minutes.
60 to 90 minutes. Is there anything else you can give us on sunburn tips this morning that maybe you have seen in the past that you don't want anybody else to maybe experience? A
very common thing that I see is patients that get come to see me with a sunburn because it was cloudy or they were just in the shade and it's cold. People associate sunburns when it's hot, but the sun is there and the UV rays, they go through the clouds, so you can get a sunburn even when it's overcast. So just wear that sunscreen. If you're gonna be outside for, let's say, more than 10 minutes, just wear it. I carry it in my car. I have one at home and in my car because sometimes you never know, particularly if you have small children, you're gonna be outside for longer than 10 minutes unexpectedly at a park that they just wanted to go. So just make sure you apply that even if it's, again, overcast, if you are in skiing. If it's you're in cold weather, you can still sunburn, particularly with the white of the snow. That reflection is gonna make you more prone to have a sunburn.